Having trouble speaking up during Zoom meetings. This is very common. And this actually reminds me of a client that I had who had a fear of speaking in public. That was the main thing that we really worked on. He began to speak in front of large groups and was quite successful. And then he reached out to me again and he said, everything's great, everything's wonderful. I'm really, really happy with what I'm being able to do. I'm teaching, I'm instructing, I'm giving talks. So it's going really, really well. But one of the things I notice is if I'm in the seat, if I'm in the audience, I might have a question or a comment that I want to make. But when I think about raising my hand or asking the question or speaking up at all from the audience, I get I get anxious again. I get socially anxious. I thought that was really, really interesting, but it made sense to me. So many times our behavior is shaped by our past experiences and our memories of our past experiences, not really our experiences, but our memories of them, how we remember them, how our nervous system encodes them. This person realized after we worked together that when he was in school, specifically, his earliest memory was like elementary school. Whenever he spoke up, there was negative consequences. So he remembered a teacher calling him stupid. He remembered other classmates laughing at him. And so this created the idea, his subconscious sort of recorded this experience of speaking up in a classroom as not being safe. When we began to really just explore that and unwind those sort of psychological knots, he was then free to speak up from the chair, from the audience. And this reminds me of being on Zoom meetings. When you're in a Zoom meeting, it's a virtual meeting, but you're still sort of in the audience. There can be a difference for some people if you're a presenter or if you're a viewer or a participant. When it comes to Zoom meetings, get curious about what's going on internally for you. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with my client who had these past memories. It's just an awareness. When we become aware of what's going on, and it's not, you don't even have to be aware of the actual memory, really. That just came to him when we sat down and slowed down and really just got curious about what he was experiencing. When we slowed down and got curious about what he was experiencing, that memory came to him. And it came to him in such a way where he just was like, oh, well, that's silly. It's nothing. He had that aha moment. And that was enough to untangle what was keeping him stuck.